Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called The Book of Murmurs by Candace Perwin. This is the story of Little Moon, who is a girl who likes to spend some time with her parents, especially when her mom reads to her out of a really special book. That book, though, sometimes has stories in it that make Little Moon nervous and scare her sometimes too. And when one of those stories comes alive and takes the lives of her parents, everything starts to change for Little Moon. At first, she wants everything to be normal, so she pretends that it is. But she soon realizes that she needs to take some steps on her own if she wants to reclaim any ownership of her life. And in order to do that, she has to team up with some unlikely companions and determine whether or not they themselves can be trusted. This graphic novel is kind of a gothic whimsical novel. So it's got that pervasive sense of fear and dread around every corner, but also fantasy characters that are woven into the story. So you have a little bit of a Alice in Wonderland sort of feel with the whimsy, and also just a little bit spooky, a little bit unusual with the characters that are in the book. This story is subdivided into sections that are demarcated on the side, so you can see when there's a plot part and then a story that's interspersed and then a plot part and a story that's interspersed. So each story has a different theme and is told by different characters, and so it kind of it makes her world a little bit more complex, a little bit more nuanced, and a little bit richer also. So you have the direct plot of exactly what Little Moon is doing, but then you have these stories that are collected inside of this as well. So the storybook that she reads with her mother is referred to as the Book of Murmurs, which is also a spell book. So it is a line that is repeated throughout the book is that not all stories are spells, but all spells are stories. And you can see that through line as the book continues. It is intended for an older audience. The text itself is not very heavy. There's not a whole lot of it. You do have some pages where you have a fair amount of text, but then you have other pages where there just isn't any, and it's all the illustrations. So you have the text and the images that work really well together to tell the story, and they're really both necessary to tell the story. But as you can see, the illustrations have many, many details, and readers are going to be drawn to them. They're going to pull different elements out of them with every read. So while this book can be read in a linear fashion and all at once, there's a lot to take in, and so the digestion of the book is really important. So readers are probably going to find themselves reading bits of it, sitting with them for a while, moving to the next bit, sitting with it for a while. They're going to get something new out of each pass. It is best for that older audience because a lot of the imagery is a little bit spooky. There's also just some elements to it that are not as overt. So you have both in the imagery and in the text, a lot of metaphor and suggestion that may be lost on younger readers. So definitely better for that older readership. And the illustrations are really something that you will come away with thinking about, considering, even though it is a fantasy-based story, how much those illustrations and the story itself can have parallels in the real world. So you have some metaphor that's worked in there too. The book is one that will resonate with readers, especially those who like gothic fiction and also that spooky fantasy kind of storytelling. It's particularly well suited to readers who enjoy those types of stories. If this sounds like a great fit for you or for someone you know, I hope you look for it wherever you get your books.